Millionaires are made, the show where we believe that you can become a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right, it's not all about your financial health. We focus on your physical health, your mental health, social health, spiritual health, intellectual health, and obviously your financial health. This episode is focusing on your mental health and relationships. We're going to learn some awesome advice from 3 awesome guests. Millionaires Are Made is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone on this beautiful, beautiful planet. In the spirit of authenticity, I don't even know who our guests are or what tips they're giving till about 15 minutes before the show, and we connect in the green room and talk a little bit the schedule and whatnot. But there is no bias, no persuasion. These are all real guests with real tips to tell you exactly how to grow your mental health into millionaireship. Audience, we love when you ask us questions because we will ask them live. So please shoot comments, ask questions. Doesn't matter how you're watching us. We'll get them. We'll take care of them. And today is actually the first day we're doing some follower shout outs. So shout out to Scott Cuthbertson, one of my friends out in Colorado there. It's our Facebook shout out. On Instagram, we're shouting out Carla Smith. And on YouTube, we're shouting out Peter V. Thank you guys for following and helping spread the message. Feel free to like, share, comment, all that fun stuff so we can keep this going. Hey, if you guys have a podcast yourself and need more guests, I'd love to be a guest. And we've got 3 other guests here that also would. So please reach out to us, get some of us on your show. We'd love to spread some good knowledge out and help the world grow a little bit. We are all available. And if you want to be a guest, because I already know everyone has something to share, including you, please sign up. We are always looking for guests, and we love new guests. You don't need any experience. Anyone, anywhere can be a guest. That's what we believe on this show. So please come on and share something that can maybe help change a few lives. Oh, man, if you have a topic that you're going through, if you're struggling right now, we would love to help you out with that too. Let us know what topics you're working on, and we'll go find 3 guests that have something to share and maybe can help you get through that time. If you love this show and the transfer of knowledge all around the world, if you want a one-on-one with me, I am offering free coaching, part of my giving back to the world thing. So if you want a one-on-one grow session with me, please just reach out to us, comment, direct message us on anywhere, and we'll get a hold of that and give you the link. And without further ado, we are going to get into this show all about relationships and mental health. And I'm going to go over super fast one of my tips. And relationships don't have to just be romantic. This can be with your family. This can be with friends. Can be just any type of relationship there. But I am going to say you need to write down your core values and adjust your boundaries accordingly. If you do not have personal core values, that is probably the first thing you need to do right now for any sort of mental health. And boundaries in relationships should be correlating with that. If you have any questions about that, we'll talk about it more later. We are going to bring out our first guest. Her name is Pearl. Pearl, who are you?
Hey, good morning. My name is Pearl Sharenza, and I'm actually a recovering people-pleasing addict, which led me to become a mental fitness life coach. I'm also a wife to my husband of almost 40 years. I have 2 amazing young men that I've had the honor of raising. My oldest, Matthew, is my forever angel now. We lost him in July of 22 in a tragic car accident. He was born of our hearts, so we adopted him at a month old, and we know that he's watching over us today. And then my youngest one is Nate. He's 24 and he's getting married this year in October. So lots of great things happening in my life. But I am that mental fitness life coach that loves to help women step into the sentence of no as a happy way to say it. Because when you do, you're actually saying yes to yourself and you set some amazing boundaries so that you can achieve the things you want to achieve in your life.
I love it. Saying no is actually saying yes to yourself.
Absolutely.
And just to tie in real quick, it's really easy to say no when you have your boundaries and core values set.
For sure.
All right, Pearl. Well, if I wanted to improve my mental health with relationships, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
That would be to learn to set those boundaries, to understand that as a people pleaser, as I was, we can't show up for everybody the way we want to if we're saying yes to everything. So I did something as simple as like finding something that you love and give yourself time every day to work on that. So a simple thing that I like to do with my clients is create your 10 things that bring you joy. And whatever those are, keep asking yourself, like, why does that bring you joy? And once you nail that down, that you can't answer the anymore, like, what about that brings me joy? Start picking one or two of those things to work on in a month and just concentrate on those two things for a month. And you will be amazed how much more happiness you'll have. And actually, when you do say yes to the things you want to say yes to, you're really going to show up with the energy you're supposed to bring. Sorry.
Someone wants to call you. I mean, yeah, that is, so it's focus on two things for a month, grow those, and then move on to the next thing. That sounds almost like our show, 2 things every week.
Yes.
All right. Well, Pearl, where on your life journey did you learn this information?
So in 2015, I went through an aha moment. I took a 6-week identity and destiny course. And at the end of 6 weeks, I had to give my I am statement. And I still was saying I was a wife, a mom, and all the titles that I wore. And so I decided I had to do something to put myself first. So I was walking along and I found this rock on the ground. I don't know why I found the rock, but I picked it up and I said, what am I going to do with this rock, God? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And it just came to me that I had to move this rock 3 times a day by saying no to something. And so when I was doing that, I was able at the end of the day to show up for myself more often. It took me about 30 days, but I made a commitment that every day I came home, if I had not said no to something 3 times in that day, I had to text or call somebody or email somebody to tell them, no, I can't do something they asked me to do.
So you forget during the day, you get home and 3 people just get these, no. Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this rock. So you were just walking by and you just felt like this rock needed to move and it needed to correlate with your actions during the day. How did about that?
I was showing up for everybody so much that I was like I said, I was worn out, tired. I wake up in the middle of the night going, oh my God, I didn't do that for this person. I forgot to call that person. You probably would have asked me to come do your sock drawer organization. And I probably would have done it for you. Man. I needed something. And I was just like, I'm just very spiritual in that way. And I was just like, show me a sign. And then there was this rock and I just picked it up. And I just decided that in order for me to say no, I had to make it a movement for myself and that energy in my body. And by doing that, it really changed the way I was showing up for others. The aha for all of that, by saying yes to you and no to others, is actually, I realized probably with about 45 days in of doing this, I had closed many doors for others. So you might have asked me to come help with a fundraiser, like for dogs. I love my dogs, but I don't want to go fundraise for dogs. So I might have had said yes to you when really my friend, who is a great dog trainer, she probably would have been the better fit. So I realized by saying yes, I was closing doors for other, and that people pleaser in me didn't like to do that for people. So it was like the aha going, if I'm going to overcome people pleasing, but I still want to help others, I can show up by saying no and introducing to somebody if that was the case. Or maybe it was like this that we're doing here today, and maybe today wasn't a good fit for me. I might have said, hey, this is an awesome opportunity, and right now it's not the good fit. How about we circle back around the next time you do it and see if it works better for me? And by doing that, I was less stressed. I didn't get upset if my kids asked me to make them a grilled cheese sandwich. And I actually was finding I had harmony in my life.
Okay, cool. All right, Pearl, thank you so much. I think it's a good time to move on to our next guest. We'll bring you back out in the round robin here. We're going to move on to Ms. E.
Hey y'all, hey, how y'all doing out there? Thank you, Austin, for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. Glory to God. What's up? I'm out here trailblazing, as you can see.
I love it. So this is the beauty of our show. You can do it anywhere, anytime. Izzy's probably on the clock, driving a truck. But one question, Izzy, we need to know, who are you?
Oh, let's start off. Miss E came from Erica. I'm Erica Dance. Then I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Bed-Stuy, do or die. And back then, if you didn't do, you would die. Even if you did, or if you did do. Right now, I'm living in Virginia. I have 2 beautiful children. They're grown. My daughter is 30 and my son is 25. and I drive trucks. I'm in the construction industry. I build communities, honey. That's what I'm talking about. I'm a community builder. I'm also a change agent by degree. And although I'm not in that human services field, I'm still changing lives out here.
I love
By
it.
right, I'm in a, yeah, thank you. I'm just was a part of an anthology called Trailblazing Women Going Beyond Adversity. And the title of my chapter is Hey Girl, Hey. And just like I stated in the beginning, my whole entry is Hey y'all, hey, on different levels. And that was expressing my journey. And I chose to start from the beginning, the childhood portion of my life to where I am today.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I've got a serious question for you, Missy. If I was wandering around through my life and wanting to improve my mental health and relationships, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
The one that I would give, and it's kind of hard with so many things that go everything that our minds so up is always focusing on the good. We focus on the good. It really disintegrates the bad if you stay focused. And focusing a lot of times is hard for us. But like I said, with all the distractions that's going on around us, our mind is always noisy, our eyes is always noisy, what we're putting in it, what kind of conversations we indulge in. Focus on the good. And that was a challenge that I put on my page. Just that I challenge everyone to focus on the good, because even as a child, your parents. Some people grow up in households where parents always gravitate to the bad. And when you do good, you're looking for that acceptance. You're looking for, I did good. I did the dishes. I took the garbage out. Look, I made my bed. They don't look at that. And as soon as you don't make the bed or don't take out the garbage or don't wash the dishes, that becomes the title of the day. So you get used to hearing all the bad things, or focusing on the bad things. So I challenge everyone to focus on the good and be easy on yourself. Give yourself a break.
And yourself, focus on the good. Have a great friend. Where on your life journey did you learn this, Missy?
Say that again. I didn't catch you. My bad.
Where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
Oh, I learned this tip when I had a lot of years of a downward spiral. If I could just say that. How long I got? How long you got? Anyway,
You got 2 more
25.
minutes.
2 more minutes. Oh my God! I learned this tip in ministry. I learned this
Okay.
tip listening to my pastor, Kurt T. Houston of Gethsemane Community Fellowship Baptist Church in Norfolk, Virginia. It and being around people that's from the community that's looking for the same things we're all looking for. We're all like in a hospital looking for the same antidote to heal us from past hurts and past things of that nature. So once I started looking around, I go, there's so much bad stuff going on. Let me all right, that could happen, that could happen. And then I started seeing how it trickled all the way up to more good things happening, more good things happening. And realizing that, oh wow, that did happen, did it? Oh, but look at what's happening now. Let's ride the wave, baby. Let's ride the wave.
I love it. I love it. All right, Missy. Thank you so much. We're gonna move
My
on to
pleasure.
our next guest. We're gonna say hi to Coach Carolyn. Coach Carolyn, who are you?
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your awesome show.
Oh, always, always. We
I
thank
am
you for
Coach.
coming on.
Thank you. I am Coach Carolyn Murphy, Coach Carolyn J. Murphy. I am an author of God, Why Did You Save Me? I am a mental health advocate. I am a Tennessee certified peer as well as a Christian life coach with the title of Mind Shift Coach.
Mind Shift Coach. All right. CEO of Firm Foundations Community Outreach. Well, you sound like the person I want to talk to right now. If I wanted some to improve my mental health with a relationship advice, what tiny tip would you give me?
Active listening.
Active listening. All right. I've heard that before. Tell me more.
Active listening is basically being present in the moment, giving your full attention to the person that you're talking to. So, like you said earlier, it doesn't have to be a relationship, romantic relationship. It's family, friends. And that tip is top of mind for me because I'm an adult survivor of childhood trauma. And so part of my childhood trauma, I was born in a time where children were seen and not heard. So any type of expression was ignored. And so one of the things that I pressed upon people is to give people your attention. I think that is what's going on today. People are not being heard.
All right. All right. A little more listening in this world could go a long way.
Yes.
Hint, hint. Countries at war currently. Hint, hint. All right, Carolyn, let's see. Where in your life journey did you learn this?
I learned this during my young years. I didn't formulate it in my mind until I was an adult, but I knew at a young age that I was not going to treat people the way I was treated. God bless you.
Oh
God
man, I
bless
felt that coming. I tried to avoid it. I'm so sorry.
That's
So at
okay.
a young age, you learned you wanted to treat people better than you were being treated.
Yes.
Active listening was a large part of that.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, it's a large part of just about anything. If you're in business or any sort of everything's a relationship, right?
Exactly.
And even if it's nonverbal listening or paying attention to body posture, all sorts of stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a pretty big skill.
It
Is
really
that something
is.
you teach?
Is it something I teach? Yes, for the most part, because um, I want to teach women or help women that are 40 and above
Okay.
to move past stagnation, which in
Ooh, okay.
parts helps you to move past stagnation. You have to listen to your silent cries. What is it that you have missed out on being stagnant or living in fear? And so when you live in fear, a lot of times you're not listening to you. You're just trying to shelter you, which ends up becoming your prison, which is your comfort zone.
All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Wow. Awesome. Thank you for the insightfulness. Are you ready for us to bring everyone out and do a round robin?
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's get Pearl and Ms. E out here. There she is. All right, let's start. Pearl, can you very quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yeah, stepping into the word no to others and yes to yourself.
No to others, yes to yourself. Ms. E, what are your thoughts on that tip?
Being having the history of being a people pleaser myself, bro. When you said that, I was like, ding, 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 ding. I used to be that too. I used to be that too. It feels so good to say no. It's okay, unapologetically. It's so okay. You know what I mean? Because you have so many things going on in your life. You're focusing on you. You're doing self evaluations. You're doing. Let's go. Let's go. No, it's okay. No, not today. No, I don't have it. No, I can't spare that. It's not that I don't have it. I just can't spare it. You know, we go broke trying to help everybody, and everybody is never going to be
Yeah.
satisfied. They're never going to have enough. They're always going to come to you because now you're the patsy. Now you got a new title. How about that? So
Yep.
it's okay today. Breathe. See life.
Breathe.
Honestly.
You got her going, Pearl. That tip
I
really
love
got
it.
me.
I love it. I love it.
All right, let's move on to
that one.
Carolyn. What are your thoughts on Pearl's tip?
I love it because I am also a recovering perfectionist as well as a people pleaser. And one of the things that that hit home when I heard her say it was the fact that when you keep saying yes to others, you eventually get to you're pouring out of an empty cup. And so you don't know that you're pouring from an empty cup until you start seeing that you are angry because you're constantly giving, but then when you need, you can't find anyone.
Girl, pour back into me. Goodness gracious, good Lord in the quarter. I keep saying yes to you and saying no to myself, and I'm losing out. I'm missing out. And when it comes to you, you're sitting there second guessing yourself, going, should I get that or no? So when somebody call you, you're going above and beyond the call of duty. Oh my gosh, thank God they got rid of that game. Anyway.
Yep.
I love that you brought up the empty cup. And one of my favorite speakers, Eric Thomas, he would talk more financially about it. Like, you know, it's hard to like help others, help your family if your bank account's empty, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. And that always resonated with me when I would hear him speak. But you know, this appeals to everything else. I mean, your mental health. If you don't have a strong mental health, it's hard to be your support system for others. You know, your spiritual health, any kind of that. If you're not strong yourself, it's really hard to give others. You know, so that's a great point. Thank you, Carolyn. Hey, Ms. Z, can you refresh what your tip was real quick?
My tip was focus on the good. Focus on the good that's happening around you in your life, even in other people's lives, to help them focus on the good. In some cases, it can be a bit challenging depending on what, just like you said, the mental capacity of what they consider is good. Some people think having a whole lot of money is good. More money, more problems, right? But if you focus on the good, and eventually it will outweigh that bad. You start weighing out the pros and cons. How many times your teacher, when we was in school, said, write create a list, two areas, two categories, the good and the bad. And you start writing down the bad, and then eventually you go, well, all right, that's what happened. You were so overwhelmed over three bad things that you forget that all of these good things have been happening even in the mix. Look in between of all of that. Look in the mix of it. And look what good comes out of it.
Hey, Coach Carolyn, what are your thoughts on Ms. Z's tip?
I love it because focus on the good takes you out of your own head. A lot of us stay in our own heads, and we have a lot of things going on, especially when it's negative. And so focus on the good. My good is my God. My God is the one who is giving me life, blessing me to be able to be good to others.
We got an audience comment saying, that's right, Miss Carolyn. We need to know when to give and when to pull back.
Yep.
Hey, Pearl, what are your thoughts on Miss E's tip?
Well, Miss E's tip, I've been living the last about 18 months since our son passed away in a tragic car accident. You know, many people would probably be okay if I sat in my bed and never came out again in my grief, right? But Matthew saw me step into overcoming people pleasing. He saw me become stronger. He saw me become happier. He saw me become empowered to do these things like what I'm doing, and to step into that radiant and original self I am. So that Shiro he saw me become, I'm living that continually in honor of him, because there's other amazing things that are coming in my life. Like my younger son's getting married. I'm able to be here in the West Coast helping take care of my nephew, while my brother's going through some health stuff. I'm able to do those things because of exactly the example she said. And so, things are going to come at us, and it's what we decide to let, if it's going to control us, or we're going to say, what does it serve me? Release it and move on. I love the list, but I like the joy list and the not to do list. What things do you have to stop doing so that you can do your joy list? So negative self-talk, listen to other people, what are those things? So yeah.
An active listening, like Miss Carol said. Because if we always focusing on us, the me's, let us clear our throat, always tune in our voices to go, me, what about me, it becomes, what about the other person? And giving yourself a break. Let's come out of yourselves and focus on what you can do for somebody else. Because seeing the smile come on somebody else's face, I don't know about you, but it really, really gives me a lot of joy in my heart to help other people see happiness, bring other people happy.
Miss Carolyn, can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yes, my tip was active listening, which is being present in the moment, giving the other person the opportunity um, to to tell or explain what their emotions are. One thing that I've learned: don't just listen to reply, but truly hear them. And I think that's a problem today: is that nobody is hearing what what anybody is saying. Everybody is shouting.
Everybody's just shouting. Pearl, what are your thoughts to her tip?
So that goes along with what we talked about in the green room. It's communicating our realistic expectations. I love what you said there, Carolyn, because people ask me, "You've been with your husband 40 years. Like, how's that?" We have a great communication, but we also say, I have something on my mind. Are you open to receiving right now? And if the answer is no, we've made a commitment to be like, okay, within 24 hours, we're going to circle back around. Because if I'm
That's
not ready to listen, I'm not going to hear. And I want to be able to hear what you're saying. And if you're in a situation where, like what you talk about, Coach Carolyn, sometimes you just have to put, wait, I'm not ready to talk about this right now. So I need to get back. Give me a few minutes, right? Whatever that is, because we want to show up and our eyes will watch and listen, talk a whole lot of story too.
You had a comment from the audience, Pearl. It says that's really insightful.
Thank
But
you.
I do love that. Actually, my last relationship, we had that. I guess I'm more of the avoidant, and so whenever there was a disagreement, it would be like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, hey, give me 24 hours to process thoughts, and then we'll have that discussion. Then, so that's a huge tip. I mean, you should just throw just that tip in all relationships everywhere. Are you ready
Yeah.
to talk? No. Okay. Are we going to be okay in 24 hours to talk? All right, give me 24 hours. I think that's huge. Miss E, what are your thoughts on Pearl's tip?
Circle back around. I like that. I like the just the way it rolls off my tongue. Let's not do it now while we're all over the place because I'm a firm believer of communicating. That's why I hate texting. Communicating because it comes a time where you're trying to get everybody trying to get their thought out and you become a choir instead of two people trying to get points made to each other and respectfully speaking. So
Oh,
I
thank
love it.
you.
Let's communicate because I tell people, look, we're singing right now. We're not talking,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know. So let's talk. Let's
I love
build.
it.
If we got to go to each other's corners for a moment, and when we come
Yeah.
back, we can breathe. And now we got our thought processes, and now we're more open to receiving their
Yep.
or their or their feel or their thoughts. And then at the end, you never know. You'll come to one conclusion that you're really both for giving each other accolades, all in that plethora of stuff. But we didn't have to give ourselves time to think about it until we sat down and thought about it in quiet. In the quiet.
Agreed. Coach Carolyn, what are your thoughts on Pearl's tip?
I love it because, like the insightfulness of, are you ready to hear it? That's putting the person first. I've been in relationships and seen other relationships like, I want to say what I want to say and I want to say it right now, and it does not benefit anybody at that point. So being able to, ask the question and then receive the answer, I love that.
All right, guys, it's time to move on to my favorite part of the episode. We have to come up with our daily challenge. It must be a way to improve your mental health with relationships. It takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to anyone from Fiji to Alaska. What thoughts do you have?
I'll go first. So I before in the green room I got on and I shared one of my favorite things to teach is the mental fitness piece and just to take your fingers and if you're like I do this sometimes before I go on stage or if I'm going into a situation of talking with somebody is just to simply close your eyes, rub your fingers together, take some deep breaths for like 5 minutes and then it kind of calms you down to go and approach whatever you have to approach whether it's difficult conversations whether it's start in me whatever it is in your relationship it's going to help calm you down and sometimes it may even say oh I don't really need to talk about that right now.
Interesting. Okay. So 5 minutes of deep breaths and rubbing your fingers.
Yep. Feel the index, feel the ridges of those fingers. Don't just rub them, like really feel the ridges because there's some really cool ridges there.
Oh, I don't like that. That's creepy. All right. All right. Any other thoughts for our daily challenge?
Hey, when you're feeling down about anything,
All right. We're losing Miss E.
yes,
Carolyn, any
up,
Coach
take
Carolyn,
your
any thoughts?
chest.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Oh, wow. Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
you're breaking up quite a bit. Coach Carolyn, any thoughts on the daily challenge?
My tip is right along with Pearl, mindfulness. Practice mindfulness, being still for at least 5 or 10 minutes. Whether it's hearing your breath, feeling your breath, or feeling the air if you step outside, mindfulness helps ground you.
All right. So how do we turn this into a daily challenge?
You want some help there?
Yeah, I'm
All right.
asking you.
Oh, okay. Well, it was kind of like I would say do it for 5 minutes a day. Pick 5 minutes in your day and do it. Set your alarm to do it, whether it's first thing in the morning, the middle of your day, whatever it is. My alarm is set every day at 3 p.m. to step away from my desk and just do this at 3 p.m. for 5 minutes. So just take 5 minutes of your day, set your timer. And listen, you're not going to do it every day, but if you can do it once or twice a week, it makes a big difference.
Okay, so
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're all good. So the next question then when we're doing this, should we try to think of maybe old conflict or conflict we're going through right now?
No, I just you just try to clear your mind. Just clear your mind, rub it, just take deep breaths and just picture the beautiful scene behind you, actually, Austin. Something beautiful in your mind, right?
I guess I know where I'm going to be doing it at.
Just pick something, close your eyes, and something that makes your heart sing and brings you joy. Just concentrate on that for a little bit.
So some happy thoughts. Coach Carolyn, how do you feel about that?
I love it because the mindfulness, like I said, just goes right along with what Pearl is saying. So my thing is, if you are at work, step outside the office. And if you have to walk outside the actual office, being outside and feeling the breeze, just focus on something so that the negative can just melt away. So take, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes every couple of hours, especially if you work in a very stressful environment.
Yeah, you're looking around. Yeah.
So we're focusing on happy thoughts, right?
Yep.
How about that? Focusing on happy thoughts as well as staying in prayer, because that's what works for me. That's what I realized that really, really works for me. I found a church. God led me to a church family with all kinds of issues. Okay. So that let me know that I'm not out here by myself going through and trying to muscle through and ride the wave by myself. I'm not the only one getting smacked by life out here. And I said, how did you do it? People do uh, meditation, and I'd have devotionals. I was given, I'm going to share it, Jesus Calling by Sarah Young, and getting with other women, other podcasters like yourselves that have, that's although we're in these professions, it took some time to really get into it. We had to go through a process and embracing the process. That was my first part of my joy. That because while we're not embracing the process, we're fighting it. And that's what brings us down. That's our woes and our foes. So once we start embracing the process, we start to see the strategic plan that God has for each and every one of us. And on individual basis, you start to sit back and breathe and really take your time and circle around the block a bit, like Pearl says, and come around and you have that conversation with yourself, or you go in the mirror and you go, oh snap, that's oh, I get it now. Like Carolyn, she says, we come back and we listen now. We hear, we focusing now. And these are self motivating, this is self reevaluating and self help. Okay, we can't just say this to people if we didn't incorporate it in our own lives. So that's what brings
Very
me
cool.
joy, just knowing that it works. I am my first guinea pig. How about that?
All right, guys. Well, I've posted the daily challenge, so we've got to walk outside and rub fingertips and take 5 minutes to focus on happy thoughts or meditation or prayer if you're religious. It sounds like it's going to be a great way to work on our relationships, focus on ourselves, and bringing some inner peace. We are going to wrap up the show then. That was our goal. We got the daily challenge. So thank you guys so much for coming on. And thank you all for watching. Again, this was Millionaires Are Made. Our show was on mental health and relationships. I hope you learned a tip or two. Had some awesome insight there. We'll hopefully see you next week for our next show. Before we go, we do have to go over our sponsors that help make this happen. First things first, we have Reboot by Gone. Meet Charles W. Smith Jr., multi-award winning entrepreneur, published author, and dynamic motivational speaker. His link is being dropped right now. With his powerful message, Reboot My Way of Thinking, Charles provides invaluable tools for gaining clarity on identity and empowerment. Connect with him at therebootbygone.com and start your transformative journey now. Another sponsor we have is Whoopsie Hair Ties, introducing a new hair tie where style meets resilience. They redefine the ordinary with their versatile, durable accessories, celebrate strength and uniqueness with every twist. The link is dropped right now. Please check them out. Support our sponsors. We've got 2 more rock solid women's empowerment coaching. So if you are a woman looking to be empowered, go meet Bonnie Hardy, women's empowerment coach in Atlanta, Georgia. She specializes in a tool called the Wheel of Life plus vision boards. And she manages and owns the Atlanta Airbnb property where the retreats are held. Her link's being dropped. And if you want a different type of coaching, we have Lioness Proof Coaching. In a time where mediocrity is running rampant, Lioness Proof Coaching is here to help women up their level, their health and level, and unlock their inner lioness to have more energy, vitality, and longevity. By looking at what is holding us back, like alcohol, fuck alcohol, we can eliminate distractions and focus on what matters most in life. And laziness/excuses will be a thing of the past. Wow, that's fucking powerful. So go check that link out, lionessproof.com. Again, thank you so much for being here.